and I've been on this quest, I'd say for about 3 months now, just back to back interviews. And you guys, this is serious. Like, this is like a mastermind. You get to have this free content that gives you the juice, the jam that you really, that kind of unlocks that key. The brain is so chaotic with 60,000 words that we say to ourselves, known about every day. 80% is known to be negative, unless you're up leveling your software. 90% of that is over and over and over. So, what I want to do with Fresh Talks Global Vision in this Mindset Matters series is to break the old synapses, the old patterns. So, stay close with us. Today, we have Didi Sai, and I might be saying her last name wrong. Didi, is that how you say your last name?
Didi Kai. You can see.
Didi Kai. Well, I was trying to make it all, but no, it's C-A-I, Kai. So welcome in, my friend. I'm going to, I just want to welcome you in, but I want to also do a proper introduction for you. How are you doing this morning?
Oh my goodness, I am fantastic. And thank you so much for having me this morning, Rhonda, to speak about mindset. My goodness, it's something that I am so passionate about. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, as I fix my hair, like I'm thinking mindset, I'm thinking, well, I just washed my hair. I need to kind of adjust it. Mindset stuff. What I want to share is that I'm on a deeper level here, and Dee Dee is here to support us and support her cause also. This global vision that I have is like a humanity project. I really see that we envision that we're hashtag speaker locking arms, that we all have each other's back. And as soon as you start using your vocals and really clear your mind, that you notice that you have so much love first for yourself. So I want to get in there with Dee Dee and talk about like discovering yourself so that you really get out there and act like what you know your net worth really is. Because when you start feeling that, you just show up in every room like that. And it becomes not cerebral and like I need to look perfect and everything is this and that, but you become more human and you get to relax. So let me share what Dee Dee is all about. Dee Dee Kai is the founder and performance coach of Fit to Profit, a company that utilizes psychology, cognitive science, holistic wellness, and business to help entrepreneurs get mentally fit to obtain peak level performance in their business. With over 15 years of experience in running her own business in the brick and mortar and health and wellness industry, Dee Dee married her love for living an optimal lifestyle and business to create Fit to Profit. She believes that women deserve to have it all, and she's on a mission to empower women entrepreneurs to create financial freedom and build wealth from the inside out. This is from my, in-person. Yay, Dee Dee's here. I have to do that. Dee Dee, can you just give us more of like an introduction of your love and what you do? Share a story. Let's just get this rolling, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for the formal intro. And yes, every word of the bio illustrates my personal journey, as you can see. It has everything to do with building from the inside out as a woman, and especially being an entrepreneur. And yeah, just like every single first generation immigrant that I know, we have a particular path that we should follow, meaning going to school, do well in school, and then you'll land in a job. And ultimately, that's how you find happiness. I did all of that and landed my first corporate job after graduation and realized this is not my idea of happiness, because I found myself sitting in a cubicle, not having anyone to talk to. There's a screen in front of me and there's no connection. Like, I felt so disconnected and realized this is not the lifestyle that I envision. So right around the same time, 6 months later, short-lived my corporate career, I had an opportunity as a daughter and a business partner. My mom had asked me to be her, I guess, business partner to start a restaurant business, which is a dream of hers. I said yes right away. I jumped on the opportunity because perhaps this is the American dream that I was going after. So I didn't think twice. So I built the restaurant business with her from the ground up. It was, you name it, from getting permits to hiring the team to getting everything hooked up in the restaurant, all of the things, which led me into really loving this whole entrepreneurship thing as, oh my gosh, this is the American dream. The American dream quickly became an American nightmare because I found myself working 18-hour days. I was dating my boyfriend at the time. I didn't see him. We have certain conflicts with my mom just because business is hard to begin with, and not to mention your business partner is your mother. So it's kind of really a interesting dynamic to navigate. And long story short, I did really enjoy the opportunity to create community. And that's one thing I knew that I want to stay on for a long time, was that we were that hole in the wall. Everyone knew. We felt so connected to this small community we built. We were that hole in the wall, but I knew every single person that came in to that restaurant, and also anyone calls on the phone. I knew exactly who is calling, how many kids they have, and exactly what they wanted. So I really felt that connection to the rest of the community, but I wasn't connected to the work. That was more of hard work that I was not. I want to say envision once again. So, long story short, we moved on from the restaurant opportunity. And at the same time, I was rebuilding my life because I got totally burnt out. And I mean, burnt out to the point where I was lost. I felt really defeated because twice in a row I failed, right? I failed from my corporate position, and then here I am building my American dream, and I failed. And then here we have all this debt that I didn't personally know how I was going to overcome. Personal debt from friends, personal debts from the bank, you name it. I really felt defeated. And but at the same time, I had something to look forward to. My boyfriend proposed and we were getting married. So at least I said, I'm going to take a big step back and just focus on myself. And that's what I did. And of course, life has a way to throw you lemons, right? The week of my wedding, I lost my best friend to suicide. I buried her July 4th, and our wedding was July 7th. And on the other side of things, not only did I lose my best friend to suicide, but I also discovered that I actually was also suffering in silence for the same thing, which is anxiety and depression. I did everything up until that point was just to fulfill the void. I fulfilled everyone else's expectations that you already heard, except my own. And I was really forced to take a big step back. But not only that, I answered my calling and I vowed to myself that no one should ever have to go through what I went through that week. And so I launched my business, knowing very little about business. I just kind of discovered the whole coaching industry as I was getting certified to be a holistic health coach. Um, for some reason, I didn't really feel confident being a holistic health coach. So I was kind of shying away from that. I tried pitching, but it didn't really stick. And I went with the business route. At least I knew how to start businesses. So I was basically telling people that I can help you start a business from my knowledge, and
Yeah.
basically landed my first 3 clients in 2 weeks. So I fell into business development and consulting, which is amazing, which I did for a long time, for 5 years straight. And then what's interesting is I realized there was a pattern that my entrepreneurs were going through. They had the ups and downs, they had the stagnation and complacement with not getting past a certain level of revenue. And then I was asked to dig really deep with them, and came to the conversation of, why are you not doing what you're supposed to be doing? We have a plan. And you said that this is a great plan, but you're not executing the steps within the plan. What is happening? Right. And sure enough, it came up that it wasn't the strategy or the tactic. It was the CEO. She is not applying the implementation, or she's not implementing because there's mindset barriers that she was hitting. There
Mhm.
was self-doubt, there's self-sabotage, there was fear of failure, there was not feelings that not good enough, you name it. And that's when the rubber really hits the road for me was when we are digging deep with entrepreneurs and really giving them the tools to overcome those mental barriers. And I've been track my own journey up until that point was, oh my gosh, I overcome the failures of all those businesses. I'm coaching now. I overcame the fear of being new at coaching, but I knew I just needed to teach something that I knew. It's mindset.
Mhm.
That's when I realized, oh my gosh, 80% of this thing is mindset. It has very little to do with strategy. As you can see, like the I started businesses without any strategy, without any plan, but I did fine. Like, and it was fine because I had such a strong mindset that I can overcome anything, that I can do anything, right?
Mhm.
Anyhow, that's how truly Fit to Profit is built upon, is my love for living an optimal lifestyle because I had to take care of myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah.
Then financially, when I started my virtual business and realized that all of this works together, everything is interconnected. And I say building wealth from the inside out also
Mhm.
has to do everything with that. It's because remember how I failed the first 2 times, the corporate business and the restaurant business, because I was not living up to who I was. I was doing everything else for everyone else because I did not feel worthy of success.
I
And
love it. Can can we just hold that space for a moment? I'm loving this whole story, especially about this is why you get to hold that space in the mindset area because you were speaking about your friend passing on and you starting to recognize that you had these patterns of not being happy, but you were able to accomplish things even through that. But then you bring it into, well, there's this balance. Like you can accomplish what you want because you know your mind is like, I'm gonna find a way to get there. But then you brought spirit into this conversation
yes.
and spirit and can we go in this area, DD, where it's about like for me when you're starting to talk about this, especially you coaching and landing your first client within like, I think minutes relative to how, how many hours we spend in our love of what we do. And that's when we start realizing that our cerebral, we can kick butt. Like there's nothing that's going to stop me from doing that. But the mindset and then being able to listen to intuition and opening that bigger space, is that where can I go in that area? Is that where things started even evolving for you and also your clients as you're discovering, like, hey, we need some tools here. Let's go into that journey. Let's kind of play in that area for a moment.
Absolutely. And you know how that when I first started my business, I was told that entrepreneurship is self-development on steroids, which I got really quickly. Then, as I was reflecting on my journey and how our business has evolved over the years, it's
Yes.
truly a spiritual experience, right?
You and I both have been in business for about the same time, and I like where you're going with this. I just want to say I'm enjoy where you're going. Let's just keep rocking it.
Yes. And if I have to reflect to, did I know what I was doing when I said, I'm going to launch my business? Absolutely not. But I just knew that I had this calling of no matter what it is that I need to do, I need to stop this thing from happening. Meaning, like, no one should ever have to go through the loss that I did. And how can I do that? And so that's all I was going after was the idea. And then the idea leads to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And here I am today, having published my own book on mindset and how to overcome fear to achieve your goals. And now speaking about this topic, meeting you, like, I mean, everything is unfolding the way it's supposed to, right? And as I was answering the nudges, as I was just really tapping into being in alignment with who I am, you see how not too many things worked out for me at the beginning, just because I wasn't listening to who the voice. I was listening to everything else and it didn't work. But the minute I started listening to myself and just following the little steps that I knew, going just as far as I could, you know, as soon as I turn a corner, there was the next step. And so that spirit guiding my steps. Like I had no idea. And honestly, my most recent experience, I always had a vision to be living closer to the beach. I knew nothing about the area that I'm living in right now. Nothing. Like I even had to learn how to pronounce the name of the city, which is Sarasota. I said Saratoga for like 5 months, like before I made my first trip. But the vision was always being closer to the beach. Literally randomly, God, spirit, the universe, sent me someone. Literally, it was the fiance of a neighbor who came over randomly, knocking on our door, just asking for foil because he was grilling and he needed a piece of foil. Well, he lives in Sarasota, Florida. He grew up here. He's also a real estate investor here in Sarasota. He invited us to just, why don't you just come visit and just stay in our place and check it out? And that's how it happened. We were brought to Sarasota and we were moved from northeastern, Northern Virginia, DC to Sarasota within 6 months with the whole family.
I love it. You're talking about manifestation here too. We're talking spiritual stuff. Like somebody's coming to your door, really for foil. Yeah, I mean, like that's what they thought, but they were there when the energetic process that happens when you truly believe that we're not alone. Like we are work. Like I said, hashtag speaker locking arms. Like that person came because you and I are here, and every stuff that's happened is because you are curious. You're living in that divine space of like, what's next? What's happening? And when you get curious, your brain doesn't try and take charge. Like we were talking about, our brain is known to do something to us and twist things around. But when you start clearing the synapses and you bring in that spiritual space, your heart is like so big that it manages that mindset. It just changes the software. So for our audience here, where does this take you when you are working with clients? Do they know that they're in this role of like, no, it's not just mindset. We're talking mindset, but we're going to get in there. We're going to talk about, you may not even use those words, but just a natural process that you're working with. How does that roll with the new clients coming and introducing them to like, I'm not going to fight your brain. We're going to go in there. We're going to start really creating
Yeah.
connection. I
It's so
love that
interesting.
connection.
I literally just got off of a client's call just about an hour ago, Rhonda. And within 48 hours from our last session, she manifested or created, right? Like in reality, premium pay in full client. And all we got to talk about was, how would you feel if you had this thing already? And the reason why she was so blocked is because she was so stuck on the problem. And on a practical standpoint, like let's not, because manifestation, spirituality can be a little complex, depends on your belief system, etc., right? But just from just the simple fact of her thinking, oh my gosh, I was so focused on the problem,
Mhm.
I didn't feel worthy enough to be successful. And when we were able to shift that on a conversation over to, wait, okay, the problem's always going to be there because we're trying to solve for it. Let's think about the different ways that the problem can be solved with a solution. What would that look like for you? And she just basically shift from, being down and frustrated to, what if I had the answer, or if the answer was available to me? What would that look like? And that's all we had to do, right? And on a mindset level, it's literally shifting from a negative belief to a more neutral or more positive belief.
Yeah, and Dee Dee, I feel that the spiritual side is logical. I think everything can be explained. So you can go there and just kind of flow and just be free, but keep yourself grounded and you
Yeah.
can do great. But there's people that they want to kick button business, but they are learning to connect with specific things, about intuition and how can I manifest. But you can think of it logically, like let's shift that. I used to do that, now I do this kind of approach, like how can we shift that? What is it, you being, did you say the first generation here?
Yeah, first generation immigrant. Yes.
What's the magic that you feel? Because your business is online, but to be here, you get to be by the beach because you created that. how does this feel? I think this is real important for our audience to really recognize the switch that we just talked about and what the trajectory is for their future just based on what they want. How's this feel for you?
Oh my goodness. Like it feels like freedom. It feels like excitement. It feels, secured, love, abundance. It feels like like infinite possibilities, right?
Mm.
It feels like ultimately like it's truly love. It's like love truly because life gets to be beautiful, right? Like
Mhm.
life gets to be whatever you want it to be. And we are so in control of that. And what I mean, it's like we're in control of that when we're connected to, name it, what you choose, source, spirit, God, Buddha, Allah, whoever, but we are connected to source. So like we are connected to also a really simple way of describing is our inner being or, ourselves, right? And that's
Mhm.
why all of everything that you want on the outside is built from the inside out from that sense, right? And it's ultimately maybe when you first start, it's faith on yourself, like faith that you can complete the thing, like faith that that you know what you need to do to find the right people to complete this project, right? Faith that you can think of a solution, because think about it, right? Like Rhonda, like way back when, before we have the airplane, we were riding with horses, right? It takes
Yeah,
forever to get to where we need to go, and there's
totally.
boats, and now there's airplanes, and now rockets.
Yeah. And fast trains if you don't want to go in the air.
Yeah, so all of that, like every single look around, like there's so much abundance and we forget, right? I literally on bad days, I have to look and be like, there's a plant that's breathing, right? There's water. Like we have everything and we're so connected to all of it. And it's like it's so easy to forget because guess what? We're so distracted from everything.
Oh my gosh, my heart is soaring. Like this morning, I went out and I just kind of touched. We have trees all over. I call this the Fresh Inspiration Ranch where my office is. And I was just touching a tree, just going, wow, this is such a beautiful day, looking up at the stars, talking to my dogs. Like all of that is what we're talking about here, what you're talking about. And the way that you shared about the freedom and that experience that you are in right now, people are attracted to that. And it's different than, and this is what we're talking about, is being in this net worth space. Because when you stop believing that every call is sales, every room you go into is sales. It's like you never, like, the truth is, it's not even just serving because you people try and flip it. It's like learning. But this is mindset matters. It's about learning about who you are so that you're just exuding it and you're giving offers to people where they feel safe with you. And the experience of just having the experience with somebody, I can help you with that. So, so different. Could you elaborate more on that? Because your specific thing, when we came in and we got together and like, what should we talk about? Self-worth equals net worth. What
Yes.
is that? What's that definition for you?
I love that you are asking that specifically because like you said, like let's just say entrepreneurs, we have to sell, right? Like we have to tell as many people as possible about what we do, right? To be successful in business. And guess what? If we can mindset shifts, right? Instead of selling, you said the word serving, right? Even having that shift gets you to stand in who you are as a person. And if you get to stand on, I'm really causing change and transformation and impact, that's it's what you get to talk about. And if
Yeah.
that's how you resonate with people, people are already flocking to you and wanting to have a conversation with you, whether you're selling or not. And be in that place because you already feel so connected and worthy and already loved, and you are love. You're
Mm.
having conversations very different differently than someone who's trying just to earn the living, right? And that resonates with people. That brings you the business, the relationships, and everything that you need to make the money. But then you're not leading from just the outcome of making money, but you are rather connected to the transformation or the impact.
Yeah.
And it gets to start with you, though. It gets to start with you. How do you feel about yourself? So I really believe that your net worth depends on your self-worth for that. Is because you have to feel worthy enough that you have a gift that you can share to
Yeah.
do what you need to do so you can have what you need to have, right? Or want to have. So it's
Well, I
a
love
deep
that.
do have. You need to be a loving, caring, and in service, right? To do whatever that looks like, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's you can be working a W-2 corporate job, but you care so much about the company's mission
Yeah.
that gets you to show up differently, and that's how your upper management going to notice you, and that's how you get promoted, that's how you get raises, right? And that
Yep.
becomes your net worth. That becomes how you get compensated. Energetically happens to be money in this sense, but it's the same thing. And same thing, let's not even talk about, because we call it profit, depends on how you define profit, right? Fit to
Right.
profit. You have to be fit on all levels holistically to be profitable. So it could be, let's just talk from a intangible standpoint. If you want a relationship, right, which is priceless, like, right? If you want a relationship and if you love yourself so much, you know what you deserve and the kind of relationship that you want to be in. And you do the right things, right, to attract or to put yourself in the right area or circumstances so that way you can meet the right people and the right, mate. So that
Yeah.
way and then the profit is you'll yield a relationship that you want to be in. So it doesn't have to be money, but it comes from the confidence you have and the love that you have for yourself and the self-worth that you have for yourself before anything else.
And I know earlier, probably about 15 minutes ago, you were talking about like alignment and that things just show up. And as a coach, you can tell people exactly what to do because it just comes to you because it's like I can hear that person. I know what the next step is, but it's something that's deeper than that. It's that connection. And you're working on them being able to see themselves so that alignment they can see. And then from there, it business just naturally happens because your branding is you, the way you fit in your clothes, the way you like what I mean, that's when you show up the best is not somebody fitting you into something, but somebody being able to say, oh my gosh, I feel good in this. Well, why do you feel good in this? Oh my gosh, I love saying these words. All of a sudden they're Rhonda-isms or Dee-Dee-isms. So you're branding yourself. So that's all business naturally happens that way when you, but with you having the experience to keep people like going grabbing those nuggets, those gems that happen every time you're coaching or every time that you're out there and you're speaking, you start learning more about yourself. Like your vocals open up and you go, here, wait, I just said something new. You go, there's my new marketing. Like these things are incredible. And so as we are getting closer to the end here, we're like at the last minute, you have a book out and it's right there. I can see that when we're Facebook friends. So in Facebook but so it's easy going to be able to find who you are, what your book is, how to connect with you. But I'd love to hear right now so we can just get it out to our audience. Please share like first what's the name of your book and
Yeah,
then how can we find you? What's an easy link or an easy way to get to you?
absolutely. So, yes, here's the book. It is The Overcomer: How to Conquer Your Fear to Achieve Your Goals. And it is on Amazon. You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and trust me, I trust that if you really want to find me, you will find me. I'm everywhere.
You're powerful, mama. I love it. I
So you
love I love having you in here because you are just like this real beaming person and every day I seek to be living in that and be around people like that. And Before we exit out of here, there may be one more spot you want to make sure that you bring them, but I for sure give them a tool, just something that kind of that you do like every day, or just something real simple to kind of add into their belt, their mindset, spiritual kind of belt.
Yeah. So, guess what, guys? Reflection is key, and especially practicing gratitude. If you can do this, even in the morning as part of your morning routine or evening, either way works, is I want you to call out one thing that you felt amazing about, or something that went really well, like something really, really good happened, to you that day. And that literally could be you got a parking spot, right? That to a place that you never, like whatever it may be. Because the more that we get our system, not just our thoughts or a conscious mind, our
Mhm.
system to be wired to, we talk about this multiple times, you said that, to good things will happen. And that's when you're going to really start looking for more evidence. And in that place of gratitude, that's how you get to create more of the things that you really want to have in your life. So just recall one thing, either in the morning or at night. In the morning, you're probably reflecting on the previous day,
Mhm.
or at night, it's what happened throughout the day. What was the moment where you felt amazing? Recall
Thank you,
that
Dee
one
Dee.
thing, and that will completely change your life if you do on a consistent basis.
Woohoo! Okay, so everyone, you get to know how to connect with Dee Dee, and you saw her book. Go out and get her book. I mean, it's fun stuff. It's all around mindset. I mean, you can never have enough mindset. I discover every day something new, or I'm like going back to a tool that feels fresh because my mind is stuck somewhere, or my body is stuck somewhere. And if you step into really wanting to know yourself, I find that some people get really scared about getting to know themselves. There's just something that stops them because of something. And it could be something in your past, but this is a gentle way of really creating something so powerful that maybe you've never felt this before, or maybe you're seeking this stuff every single day. Let's keep connecting and partnering, knowing that when you meet up with somebody and you give them lots of love and you get curious about what they're doing, you're changing the entire world because of the frequency, the addition that you get to do. Because you can go out there and you can see all this stuff what Dee Dee was talking about at the beginning. There's so many things that you can look at because she was talking about her beginnings when it came to business. She even brought up just, the strength she had to have with working with her mama and knowing that with business, with different things weren't working. Dee Dee wasn't in alignment. Think about where you are not in alignment. You may not even know. You may be ready to discover. Dee Dee brought up that she had a best friend who passed away. It was too short of a experience. If you are feeling sad and overwhelmed, this is the route to go. Go get help if you are understanding that there's something bigger out there that you can't tap into. You're not comfortable just getting into a coach situation. Go out there to something that is going to open things up. But the coaches that Dee Dee and I that we're talking about, and that what we do, but what we're talking about here is that we never dredge up the beginning of your life, that you have to face all that stuff and face those fears. Dee Dee was talking about being organic, about being able to discover, to open yourself up. And sometimes that doesn't feel safe, just a little bit. And so Dee Dee brought in connection, just connecting. And sometimes it's safer just to be able to connect with somebody so that you can feel the safety, like, okay, this is a safe space, and it'll start opening you up. You may be an entrepreneur that's really kicking butt right now. You're like, well, none of that really means something to me, but it does, because that was my beginnings, but I'm ready to level up at a higher level. So where Dee Dee is talking about is like, it doesn't matter. You could be going towards $1 million and she'll be there for you, because what it is the next thing that you're working on getting unstuck is that you want a good sounding board, someone that's been there, somebody that understands that mindset is very important, and that everything logical can go your way as soon as you start flipping it. And then flipping it, we can even talk about spiritual, making sure you're grounded, making sure you're looking at things logically, but also knowing there's a bigger picture. The other day, I was with somebody, they're my new spiritual guide, and she had me crying because I realized I wasn't opening myself up to the extended amount of love that I could receive. It was beautiful. Like, I'm like, why am I crying? Like, I thought about love, like my head, why am I doing that? But it was because it was a new way, a new avenue to come in. So
Yeah.
please connect with Dee Dee. I know I just pulled this plaque out. I know Dee Dee brought up freedom. Well, this is resilient, but there's freedom, safety, and healing. And there's so many words she used. Re-listen to this. Think about the words that Dee Dee expressed and how she feels being a first generation here, but also learning to really truly see herself and finally being able to do that for others. These are just words. This is about freedom, safety, and healing. This is about our health. This is about love. If you are looking for somewhere to speak, come check in here. If you're looking for being able to express who you are, please connect with our show. We are here as Speaker Locking Arms. Dee Dee, thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much, my friend. This was fun. You have a fabulous day. Everybody else out there in the land, wherever you are right now, I have a big hug for you. I can feel Dee Dee's heart. Let's expand and explore in that heart and keep exploring, because that's the path. And the path isn't this. The path is love and appreciate you. Dee Dee, stay with me. I'm going to end our discussion here, but I appreciate